cute.
I know you do. All right. Welcome back, everybody, once again to the channel, Moving Up with the Miclettes.
Moving on up.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Sherri.
And we are here for part 2. Can you see my fingers? Part 2? Part 2 of our journey with personal finances and financial independence.
Yes.
And so in part 1, my lovely wife here had asked me a couple questions, and now in part 2, I'm going to ask her a couple questions as well.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this. Oh, and by the way, you're looking beautiful today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm all right. Okay. Okay. I didn't know we were going to do that on camera. All right. Your earrings are looking popping.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
gotta be cute.
Right,
Since I can't go nowhere, I gotta look cute in the house.
All right. So here we go. Question number 1. What has been your life's journey with personal finance? What is your earliest recollection? What is your earliest memories of how you've learned about finance and financial independence?
Well, my earliest recollection is, I mean, growing up, we always got money. You know, whenever we went to, go around family, they would give you $1 here, $1 there. And, first thing we would do, head on down to the corner store and buy some honey buns. So it was, and as a kid, of course, your parents would just give me money knowing that you're going to be spending it. And I was told that, yeah, we did have accounts. And I do remember going into the bank and, putting, large sums of money to me in the bank. But, not, they never really pushed the, save type, that wasn't really something that they discussed until I got a little bit older. But even once I started getting older, I still don't really remember them being like, you got to save your money, work hard. It wasn't until I ended up getting a job that I kind of started saving a little money here and there. And I do mean a little because, yeah, it was like got holes in my pockets. As soon as I got the money, holes in my pockets, the money was gone, and so, because once again, it was never like, okay, well, what are you doing with your money? You got to save some money. You got to put some money away, save for a rainy day. Like that was never really enforced, never really discussed. I do remember, my dad would, every week he would give us lunch money, like $20, $25. And literally he would give it to us on Sunday, probably. By Tuesday, how much of that money you think I had?
Probably not much.
Like $4. Because of course,
I was going to say 5.
On Monday, go to school, buy all the snacks and all the food, and not really thinking about, I still have 4 more days of lunch, or, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to use this money to go get a fill, or, I'm going to use this money to go buy a shirt, so it was never, I never really was like, okay, let me put this money away and save it for whatever, and then once I actually started working, even then, I think I was always at the mall, always getting the fill, always getting my nails done, always like, oh, let me go buy an outfit just because it's Tuesday, so that's what I did. There was never, I don't recall my parents ever really mentioning like, let's put your money into the stock market. Let's, I do remember them saying they were in the stock market and they had invested money in the stock market, but they never, like you said, it didn't trickle down. Like they never brought that information up to us. And I don't know if it was a generational thing in regards to them not really discussing money or money being a private thing, between them that they only discussed. But, for us, it was just, we got money and spent it. And it wasn't until, I'm not even gonna lie, like, becoming a wife and owning a home and having to be like, okay, we need to put money away, to kind of save and, to make sure we have like if anything happens, a backup plan. But even then, I don't think it was more of like an emergency fund. It was kind of just like we had our savings, and that was it.
Right.
Like, we never had discussions about like stocks or investments, and things like that were kind of just foreign and never really people in our circles didn't really talk about stuff like that. And it's funny now that as we get older, like that's stuff that we talk about in our circles. I don't know if because we just, if that's what's entertaining to us now, you know, because before, like when you're in college, ain't nobody talking about no damn stocks.
Right.
Like no one's talking about, you know, Roth IRA and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, even when I graduated from college and actually got a 401k through my first employer, I still didn't know what the hell it was. You know, it was just like, oh, it was just somebody taking money from me and putting it away. I didn't understand that it was a vehicle to help save for my retirement, you know, at that time. And, you know, it's sad to say, just more so recently, you know, when we decided like, okay, well, we really want to, you know, get rid of our debt and focus on our finances and build our wealth for our family and, you know, future generations, that we actually like buckled down and started listening to and paying attention to, you know, stocks and investments and Roth IRAs and, you know, Roth plans and things like that. And, you know, now it's like, you know, I joked about it the other day, but I find it funny that now what we do, we'll be in two different rooms and we'll just be sending video, like YouTube videos to each other, you know, about, like about stocks or like M1 Finance or, you know, just different things like that. And it's, you know, gone are the days where, you know, we're sending like cute little memes to each other. Now it's like YouTube videos of, you know, finances and debt-free journeys and stuff like that.
That is so true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you know,
that is so true.
I don't know. I think with, you know, age comes maturity and finally being ready for that. But I do think at a younger age, maybe if my parents would have, you know, kind of discussed finances with us as, you know, maybe as a family, or just even, okay, here's your account. This is why we're putting money in your account, to save for college or to save for whatever the case may be. I do think we probably would have paid more attention to it and been a little bit more frugal with, you know, our money, instead of just every time we had money going out and spending it, you know. And that's always something my dad used to always say, all y'all do is spend money. All y'all do is spend money. And we'd be like, okay, can I have $20? And he would give it to us. But, you know, he was never like, let's go to the, you know, put your money in the stock market or let's do this. Him and my uncle did, I will give them this, they did buy us bonds, but even as kids we're like, what the heck is a bond? Can you explain it to me, please? You know. And that was just never something that was discussed or explained. And I don't know if it's just something that happens in, I don't know if that's a thing in the African American community or, you know, in the Latino community, that finances just aren't discussed. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we could save that topic for another conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
because it's a real conversation.
Yeah.
It is a real conversation that, you know, could be another video. But I'm glad that you're alluding to it, you know, because it gives me an idea that we actually talked about that, right?
Yeah.
We talked about that recently. That is a conversation that a lot of families and a lot of homes that are in the same situation don't have, right? Do you wish that you would have had those conversations with your dad and your uncle, or just with your parents in general? Like, hey, you know, do you wish they would have shown you all at home, you know?
Definitely. And especially being, you know, considering that I got a job at 15. And if I would have known at 15 what I know now in regards to, I could put my money in a Roth IRA and, you know, even if it's $15 a week. And by the time the age I am now, you know, about to be 37, I could have already had, you know, a couple million. Who knows? You know, but, you know, that was not something. And like you said, I'm not blaming my parents. It's just, you know, there's certain conversations that, you know, families don't have and maybe they should, you know. So that's definitely something that I want for us to have, you know, with our children, you know, just letting them know, like, yeah, one, money doesn't grow on trees, and two, you can have, you know, things where you want to buy for yourself, but you also need to realize, like, you have a future, so you have to save for that future, and there's ways to save for that future, you know, in a more realistic and, you know, approachable way to where you can obtain more interest as opposed to just putting it in your standard checking or your standard savings account. Because what is that, like 0.01?
Yeah.
You know, if you're just going through your standard account, you know, so just trying to teach them, you know, different things like, you know, stocks and, you know, ETFs and index funds and, you know, just showing them that there's such a vast world out there, you know, that not a lot of people know about, and because, you know, that's just not something that they were educated on. So, you know, I definitely just want to educate them on things like that, and just showing them like, hey, we started recently custodial accounts for, you know, the kids, and if by the time you reach 25, who knows what that account could be. You may get to the point where you're like, oh, well, maybe I just want to live my life and you know, do what I'm passionate about and be able to have the finances to do that, you know. So you know, those are just things that, you know, I would love to teach the kids, and just want to show them that, you know, you can build wealth for yourself, and it's definitely easier than, you know, what you thought. It takes time, but, you know, patience is key when it comes to investing and things like that.
And there's such a thing as compound interest, right? And I think that's part of the puzzle of this whole game. That's a puzzle piece in the game, right? Like you mentioned, stocks and index funds and being able to invest in the market, right? But there is also another way of making more money with the money you already have, and that is with compound interests, right?
Dividends, all of that.
So I think that's something where sitting down and putting it out on paper, like, look, this is how much money you could have if you have your money here. But if you kept your money over here, you could have 2 or 3 times more, right? Those are the conversations I wish we had. You know what I'm saying? And again, we're not blaming our family, right? We're not blaming anybody, right? Anything else that you want to share in regards to what maybe you want to teach the kids moving forward at the age that they're at now?
Well, one, I think it's just the basics of basically budgeting and understanding, you know, what comes in, that they don't have to spend all of it. Like, you know, allocate your money out, you know, responsibly, and, you know, you may not have issues where you end up coming down with a whole bunch of, you know, debt in certain things, student loan or credit card or whatever the case may be. You know, and I'm sure a lot of people out there with student loan, they're like, yeah, I wish I would have known this or known that. And, you know, things happen, you know, the way they happen, and all you can do is grow from it, and, you know.
That's all you can do, you know.
But thank you. That is my personal journey, you know, with finances. And Mom and Dad, please don't come for me. Like, I wasn't blaming anybody. I'm just saying, you know, education is key.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's what they say.
But I think you made a good point, right? I think there are certain topics that families avoid, right? Like we've heard it for years, right? There's certain things that families don't talk about because they don't want to talk about it. Politics, money, and sex, right? Those real talk. Those 3 things, right? Politics, money, and sex. Parents don't want to talk about it with their kids because they're afraid to talk about it, right? And then what happens? As they get older,
they find out other ways.
They find out through other means, or it takes longer for those children to really learn about the information that they could have learned when they were younger, right? Good, bad, or indifferent, right? Positive or negative, it doesn't matter. The fact is, you got to have those conversations, you know. So, got to have them.
Well, let us know, you know, what your history was with, you know, personal finance, and maybe what you wish you would have learned at a younger age, and, you know, maybe what you still wish you know now. Like, I'm sure there's always education. There's always more things for you to learn. So, you know, just let us know down in the comments, and thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and keep moving up with the Miclettes.
There you go. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you all next time. All right. Peace out. All right, here we go. Let's practice.
Okay.
Go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, to the channel once again.
Moving up with the Miclettes. Come on. Get through it.
Now, here we go. Welcome back,
Really?
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of...